Hey everyone, so today I wanted to talk about Xsens motion capture solution and Rokoko versus each other, kind of putting your options out on the table. I'm going to talk a little bit about Vive motion capture as well, because that is a total viable option. I won't go too much into that because I never actually used Vive motion capture for Unreal Engine, which is the only real practical means to having Vive be a motion capture solution right now, because Akinma was bought up by Apple and it's shelved forever. Anyway, I realized, just watching these old videos, it seems like it's been a great resource for a lot of people. Some people are deciding, like, is Xsens really worth the $7,500 versus Rokoko, which is like 1/3 that price at $2,500, or should you go with Vive motion capture, which would be about $1,500, or even Perception Neuron, which I have never really ever talked about in any of my videos before, but people are still curious. What does Perception Neuron, how does that play into all this? Now, I will say, disclaimer, I never actually bought Perception Neuron. I think it's priced around $1,400 or $1,500, so probably a bit less than Vive, depending on if you already have the graphics card and the setup for Vive. Honestly, though, I think with all the Vive trackers, you could probably have a full motion capture setup for around $1,000 with Vive, assuming you have the computer and all the assets that you would, a good graphics card that could manage that in Unreal and yada yada. You probably wouldn't even need a great one. But anyway, so let's talk about Rokoko versus Xsens. Now, I will say, disclaimer, Rokoko, I am trying to sell my suit, so if you're interested in it, I bought it for $2,500. I spent like $300 on shipping, but I will sell it. I am willing to sell it up to $2,000. I'm willing to negotiate. But anyway, is it worth over Xsens? Now, I will say that Xsens is wonderful, and I'm not getting any kind of free stuff from them. I did get a gift of sorts, if you call it that. I had to pay for shipping, $75 for a charging station and a extra tracker, and one tracker cost like $430, but I only got that after I made my first impressions video, which to summarize that video, I was very impressed. So I got that for free, but only after I made a video. I'm not getting anything free. I wish Xsens, because I'm just like cheerleading their company or whatever right now. I wish I would get like a free year or two of Awunda. So Xsens, if you're watching, I would love a year if these videos are bringing you guys more customers. But I'm being straight up and honest with you guys. I've been extremely impressed with Xsens, and for $7,500, you could buy a car with that money. And then every year after you buy it, you have to pay $2,700. If you're on the indie program like me, you get 1 year for free. The first year's for free, and then for me, next February, I will have to put down $2,700 every year. And then there's like a lifetime license, which I think is $8,300, but that's just speculation. I have no idea. So Xsens will capture your data. Like I've made in previous videos, and my review 2 months later after buying the suit, I mean, it inspired me to make a Halo Reach inspired sequel series. And I mean, it's not me doing this, so it's not like I'm bragging, but just to say how impressed I am with it. Like the data that it captures is literally better than what Bungie did in Halo Reach. Because I think they hand keyed 2010's Halo Reach game. So, and it's also been 10 years. They didn't really have motion capture solutions back then, so I'm not saying that this project is better, but I am saying that the motion capture is on dot, and it is professional. I mean, this stuff is used in Destiny 2. I'm not quite sure about Blur. I'm kind of curious about that. But I know big studios, even Bungie, Destiny 2 uses it. This is a real application for professional studios that are looking for accurate motion capture data. You can literally, like I've done, have my laptop, have the charging station, go out to a park, basically anywhere you want, right? You can hike up a mountain, which is my next endeavor, but you can also walk up bleachers. You can walk up and down staircase. In my next episode for my Halo series, I actually have the characters walking down my flight of stairs, and it's just amazing to see that actually tracked. Now, it's not perfect. When you walk up the stairs, when you walk back down, it will be confused a little bit. Maybe you'll sink down into the ground, but the thing is that the data is still there. It might not be 100% accurate, but the important thing is that it's there. Compare that to Rokoko. Rokoko is just, I'm a bit frustrated because I'm looking at these old scenes for my Halo movie Project Eden, and it is still, there's things I need to go back and like repair and redo with Xsens because it just isn't there. Like I've said in my Rokoko review, which a lot of you guys found helpful, was that Rokoko has great customer service, but I honestly feel like that might be one of the few things really going for them as a company. They have quite a way to go to match Xsens. And one of their major flaws is that the suit actually uses Wi-Fi and then sends that data back into your computer. And the problem with that is that if your Wi-Fi, if you're in an apartment or a townhome or a busy Wi-Fi trafficked area, and if you're if you're recording during a high traffic time, like when everyone gets home from school and work, your data will be affected by that, which I find is just mind-blowing what an oversight that is. Awunda, on the other hand, has this, I joked about it, it turns out this is about $1,000. Now, I really have no idea if it is actually worth $1,000, but you know, it's got a little weight to it. It's not just a plastic box. There certainly is some kind of advanced stuff happening here. And Awunda shoots at 1000 HC and then compiles it into 60 HC. So essentially it is really powerful, and you can take this literally anywhere. And if you really want to go an extra mile, I think you could have someone walking, I haven't tried this, walking with the laptop with this on it, and you can go anywhere. But this has a range of 150 feet. That means you can take this out to a baseball park and pretty much run around in massive circles, and it'll work. I've tested this. It actually works. Again, I'm not paid to say any of this stuff. I do want to sell my Rokoko, and I will happily tell you guys what I think about Rokoko. And I honestly, as I've been using Xsens, I've been kind of just starting to get more and more annoyed with Rokoko. Like, I'm looking at these old animations that I've done, and I'm almost tempted to go back and redo them in my movie because they're just janky. You know, you have a guy walking here, you know, and it just janks, you know. And I talked about, I probably emphasized this too much in my Rokoko review, that I'm near the boiler room. It really doesn't matter, because I've tried this. I've tried my Rokoko suit outside. I've tried it with the Smart Suit Hub. And I just feel like, I was kind of swindled into the suit. Like, they kind of promoted it being way better than it actually is. And when I made that review, it turns out that a lot of people came out and said, hey, look, I'm having these same issues. And they do offer a 30-day return, and I don't think Xsens does. I could be wrong about that, but you know, it just I think Rokoko blows Xsens out of the water with customer support. But at the end of the day, you're trying to buy a product. That customer support is really just there to help you get to the product. So honestly, I'd rather have a better product than better customer support. Um, so with hindsight, now I'm just like, I wish I just kind of stopped overemphasizing how important customer support is. It is important, but I mean, how long will it actually be important, considering the product is what, at the end of the day, matters more than absolutely everything. So Rokoko wins like their 9 out of 10 customer support. Xsens, I would say honestly about 4 out of 10, maybe 3.5 out of 10 on customer support. I say this because there's been times where I sent them the emails. Salespersons just haven't been present with me, and someone else had to kind of fill in for them and wonder where they were. And they're really like again, I said, can I get one strap? Can I get one strap for my gun? And they said usually people tape the $430 tracker, which by the way needs to be taken off and charged. People apparently tape that thing onto props. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Even if I got this one for free, I just want one Velcro strap. I mean, how much does it cost to create a Velcro strap lined with silicone? Probably about 25 cents. That's probably a lot. Actually, that's probably overestimating how much it costs. It probably costs about 8 cents. I asked for one, and instead Xsens sent me an invoice. They didn't say anything. I said, can I get one strap? The next email was an invoice for $125 for an Awunda strap set pack. So yeah, probably not the best customer support. I do appreciate the free stuff they gave me though. That's pretty dope. So maybe a 4 out of 10, but not everyone makes a review. So, just trying to be objective here. And I know there's different people that might have different ways. It's just like, I feel like they're too professional. Maybe they're just used to dealing with big companies that might think $125 is nothing. And I feel like I might be the minority here, because unless you're like, super rich or saved up for a long time, which I did, I had to save up for a long time to buy this suit. I mean, still $125 is a lot of money. I just wanted to buy one strap. Apparently they don't sell one strap. Just a minor nuisance, even considering I haven't really used the prop trackers yet very much, because I don't know how to plug that into my source thing. But let's talk about Perception Neuron. Let's talk about Vive real quick. So we got like 4 options, right? 4 options. So Xsens, very expensive, but also you get what you pay for. Very powerful technology that can take you anywhere, really anywhere. I mean, running outside, bleachers, I mean, it's your dream, right? Rokoko, their slogan is just imagine. Just imagine it worked. It's janky, it's a little bit aloof, but it'll get the job done. If you're not looking for professional motion capture and you're okay with doing some cleanup, I mean, Rokoko will work you just fine. I think for $2,500 plus $50 for shipping, $2,550 is very affordable. And if the next option wasn't available, then I would say Rokoko is a great option. I do like Rokoko because of its suit, because of its very easy to get started. Literally, I was like into it for 5 or 10 minutes and I was already motion capturing. And you can motion capture outside. If you live in a wooden barn in the middle of nowhere that also has great Wi-Fi connection, Rokoko might do you really good, like Xsens. But in my experience, I never saw that. Again, if you guys want to buy Rokoko at a big discount price, $2,000, I might be willing to bring that down a little bit. But and if you want to buy that, message me with your best offer down in the description. We also have Perception Neuron. So I don't know much about Perception Neuron. I was very interested in getting that suit. That is probably what people say is the best, the cheapest, and the easiest to set up. And I disagree. Yes, the suit is $1,500, which is super cheap for a motion capture solution, and it has finger tracking. See, Xsens literally has no motion capture for fingers, right? They have Magnus VR, and I think that I emailed Magnus. They never got back to me, unless their email maybe went to junk, but I don't think it did. And I asked them, does your $4,300 VR gloves work with the Awunda? They never responded to me, but I know that I'm pretty sure it needs the other system, the linked system, which is $12,000 for Awunda. So we're looking at $17,000 for the Awunda and the Magnus gloves if you want to have finger tracking with but again, that's super high quality stuff. So Perception Neuron seems like an incredible choice. Like, holy shit, I get to do all this stuff. There's a few problems. The creators even admitted to me this because I was a little bit confused. I thought, because I heard this, you have like, I forgot how many trackers it is. It's like 32 or 40 something trackers. They're like small little chips, right? Trackers for your fingers, for your whole body, right? These trackers need to be taken off and charged individually, I think. But regardless, if I am wrong about that, this suit takes a long time to set up. From what I've seen, again, I am only an observer. I've never actually bought the suit because I was really interested into it until I learned of a terrible fact, which is facts. It takes forever to set up, okay? I don't think anyone can deny that. If you have a Perception Neuron, post your thoughts down below. But 2, it discalibrates if you put it near a keyboard. Now, I don't know how annoying the calibration is for Perception Neuron. I don't know if you just stand in an in pose or T pose, but I do know it's wasted time. So if you buy Perception Neuron, you better have a friend, someone else helping you every single time you want to motion capture. And honestly, it just looks really, really janky and messy. But again, I've never used the suit. Now, one I can actually confidently talk about is Rokoko. I'm sorry, Vive. I can talk about Vive. Vive motion capture is interesting. There's not really an exact program you can use. I was using Akinma Orion for $500 a year, which seems pretty cheap now if I think about it, to Xsens. And honestly, it captured better than Rokoko. And honestly, this might be my best suggestion to you guys if you're looking for cheap motion capture, because the problem with Xsens is that it is expensive to hell, right? Not only a one-time payment, which some people could probably do, but the ongoing $2,700 a year, that's like tax money, that's like car money, that's big money. You know, that's rent for maybe 3 months for some people. So, the problem with Rokoko is that it's just, it's affordable. It's in a nice, affordable area, but it's still not where it needs to be. And I believe software can do that, but until they solve the magnetic issue, you're really looking at risking your money, because it's a hard thing to get right, you know. And honestly, sometimes I just had to cross my fingers. Will it work today? And if it doesn't work today, why? I don't know why. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And Rokoko needs to come up with a fucking station that Xsens has that can actually transport. Maybe it could be an optional thing, but they need something that can take in that data and bring it into a thing. So the problem with Rokoko is that it's just not quite there yet. And that's fine as a motion capture solution. It'll work. I've used it. It's fine. It does work. But it's not going to provide you professional data. And Perception Neuron, I really can't say for sure, except for the fact that it's super magnetic. It does not deal with magnetics at all. Now, my best solution would be Vive motion capture, because for a few reasons. Because with VR Vive, you get a game system out of it, right? You get the headset, You can go into a virtual real world. You can play Half-Life Alyx. You can play with your friends and family. It's super fun. One thing some people don't know is do not let it go into sunlight. That's a big no-no. But so obviously you can't film outside, and also you need trackers on the walls. So you're a little bit limited to your room or whatever you're using for your mocap space. But not only is it a game system, but there's some games that even allow these trackers, which you do need for motion capture. I actually have sitting right here. So I had a lot of these back in the day, old school, very nostalgic to me. Is that this right here, I just labeled these. I didn't have to, but I just named these like right foot, left foot, and I would just slip these on to like my hand like this, and there you go. You have a motion tracker. And the really cool thing about this is that Vive has perfected this through a laser system, because it needs to be reliable, and there should be no price for software as far as just regarding getting started here. Each of these is $100. You can use the hand trackers to play games, but also to track. So you have 2 controllers in each hand. That counts as a tracker. And then also you have one on your pelvis. And then I think optionally, depending on Unreal Engine's, if you look in the community area, there is a Vive motion capture plugin area. I didn't get much into it, but it works. More trackers, the better. You can have some for your knees, for your legs. Back in the day, I didn't even have knees. That was what was so great about Xsens Orion. It did cost $500 a year. Basically, that would offset the amount that you would have to spend on more trackers, because Xsens would give you more accurate data. But yeah, these trackers are really powerful, and they were created by Valve, right, and HTC, and they use a laser system. You might be able to see it on the side of my video here. But this is extremely powerful because it's meant for a game. You're meant to be able to walk around in a virtual world and see where you are. And this can actually be used as motion capture data, all right? And it's the cheapest, all right? $100 for each limb, right? So remotes, controller, or headset, right? That's gonna run you like $400. Each of these are gonna run you $100, right? So 100, 100, 100, and you probably want some extras, right? So we're looking at probably about, I think, $800, $900, depending on how accurate you want to get your data. But the great thing is you can buy more as soon as you can afford it. So we're looking at $900 plus the Unreal Engine Marketplace Vive motion capture that you run inside Unreal, capture your data, bring it to Blender, retarget, however you want to do it. That will totally, as a total package, you can get some pretty good data, better than probably Rokoko, to be honest. I never had issues with Vive like I did with Rokoko. You can get all that for like $900 or $1,000, and if you want to get a little bit more accuracy out of it, buy some more trackers, $1,200, $1,300. You will be set. And I promise you, I haven't tried Perception Neuron, but I promise you the data is going to be better. You might not get finger tracking, but honestly, as far as my work in animation, people really do not pay much attention to fingers. And unless you're trying to do something specifically with fingers with an animation, it is much better to just forget about it. Forget about it. Perception Neuron is going to cause more errors, I think, in the long term than, and it's funny, I'm like, this is a motion capture video and I'm recommending the only thing that isn't motion capture technically, but if you can afford it, I would go with Xsens. I'm mind blown with Xsens, and if I had to choose between Perception Neuron or Rokoko, totally Rokoko. And if I had to choose between Perception Neuron or Vive, totally Vive. If I had to choose between Rokoko and Vive, I would choose probably, honestly, Vive. Because I had the shittiest time, honestly. Looking back, especially with hindsight, I'm like, God, there's so much crap I need to do. But to give Rokoko some credit, there were things that I don't think I could have done with Vive. Vive does not work very well with rolling and crawling and falling on the, like, or being on the ground, you know? Rokoko can manage that, but honestly, even Xsens has issues with that at times. So you're really not going to get around too much, but Xsens is easily the superior one in all these areas, except for price. I'm really not a big fan of having to pay $2,700 again, you know, and again and again every year starting February. But what can you do? I mean, it keeps, I guess, the business in business, you know, keeps the company running. Hopefully they're improving the product and stuff. And they actually just released an update that allowed you to go in pose by yourself. So I complained about this a lot, and thankfully, I think actually a few Xsens employees commented in the description saying something was going to be added because of the well, I won't say it in this video, but because of the global issue, you guys know the one, that was added because people are having to do motion capture at home, and there's like a hands-off calibration thing you can press. You do the calibration, and then for some reason there wasn't one for like the apply in pose. You would have to press enter while in an in pose, but thankfully they added a 5-second delay on that, so you can get in the position by yourself, motion capture by yourself. Seems like a huge oversight, but good timing because I just bought it, and finally I don't have to like try to press enter while in pose. But if you guys have any thoughts about anything I've said here, just let me know down in the comments below, and I hope this video has been helpful. I've talked about Perception Neuron, Vive, Xsens, Rokoko, and they all have their perks. They all have their benefits, their pros and cons, but the one that I'm happiest with is Xsens, and I think you get what you pay for with that. And if you're on a budget, I would go with Vive. Honestly, that one might be the best, the most superior one, as far as cheaper solutions go.